everyone, I am Amanda from Mandy Lynn Plans. Welcome back to the last video in the A5 Planner Showdown series. Today we are comparing the Wonderland 222 A5 planners and the A5 Take-A-Note. There are a lot of options that you can get in your Wonderland 222 A5. First off, there's a difference in size. You have the option between a core, which is about half the size, or the all-in-one. I will get into the details of the difference in a moment, but that's the first decision that you're going to have to make with your Wonderland is how big of a planner you want. To compare, here is a Take-A-Note. It is thicker than the core, but definitely thinner than the all-in-one. And aesthetically, you do have cover color options with the Wonderland 222 and not the Take-A-Note. Before I forget, I have forgotten to mention that the 2025 Wonderland 222 planners do have the original Tomoe River paper, which is a very big deal. Thank you for the people in the comments of the other videos who have kindly reminded me. The Take-A-Note does also have Tomoe River paper. It is a thicker paper, so it doesn't show ghosting quite as bad, but the original Tomoe River paper, as we've learned over the course of the year so far, does have quality issues, but the original does not. So that is something special about the Wonderland 222 planners for 2025. So opening up these planners right away, the Take-A-Note jumps right into the yearly at a glance spread. The Wonderland 222 have some index pages here before they get into the year at a glance spread. You can see a big difference. Here in the Wonderland 222, there are 4 years on this page. You have the previous year, the current year, and then the upcoming next 2 years. Both of these planners do have the calendars all as a Monday start. The previous and then the upcoming 2 years are shaded, and the current year down in the bottom left is not. All of the months are all of the same size. In the Take-A-Note, you have the last 4 months of 2024, the previous year, the current year here in the middle, and then the upcoming 4 months of 2026. Likewise, all of these months are also the same size. And then on the right, you have a little yearly tracker page where each date is horizontal for all of the 12 months, and there are 2 little check boxes that you can mark off. There's also the day of the week abbreviation so that you know what day of the week it is. Then we flip to the yearly index page here in the Take-A-Note. Both of these planner companies have a similar idea, but definitely different ways that they lay out these pages. So we're going to stick with the Take-A-Note just for a moment. Here there is 1 quarter per side of the page. There is the date and the day of the week abbreviation running vertically with a nice blank section at the bottom, and you do have enough for all 12 months of the year before you flip in and get to the monthlies. However, in the Wonderland 222, there are quite a few more pages between the year at a glance and the monthlies. So here first we have the yearly, which is the most similar to the yearly index over in the Take-A-Note. The whole entire year is on these 2-page spreads, so you have 6 months on each side. You also have a nice grid at the bottom, but the amount of space for each day is quite small. You do have the date, but no day of the week abbreviation. The weekends are shaded, so you can figure out what day of the week it is that way. Then we flip and we get to the quarterly pages. So here on the left, we have the first quarter. The month in the middle is shaded, and it kind of all flows together. I really like how they reworked this for 2025. And then on the right side, you have a blank notes page. You have spreads like this for all 4 quarters before flipping into your monthly tracker pages. They do include a monthly tracker page for December of 2024, and then you have 1 page per month. You can put the habits that you're wanting to track, and then you can check them off along this. You have the date of the week and the day abbreviation so you know what day of the week it is. You have these for all 12 months in 2025 before you flip and get to the December overview page where you can put your monthly goals or to-do lists. For the monthly spreads, let's compare April because I don't have stickers on either of those. You can tell a difference aesthetically right off the bat. The boxes in the Wonderland 222 are much larger than in the Take-A-Note. The sidebar in the Take-A-Note is much wider. There's even a sidebar over on the right side. There's a bottom space and also a top space. So the grids in the Take-A-Note are much smaller than in the Wonderland 222. but you have extra room on the edges. So it just kind of depends if you would prefer a bigger boxes or more space on the edge. Like I mentioned before, they are both a Monday start calendar. There is some shading here in the Wonderland 222. For the Take a Note, the Monday through Friday is this greenish color, and then the weekends are this rust color. That is consistent throughout the book. And in the Wonderland 222, the shading is darker on the weekends. The Wonderland 222 does have holidays printed in English, the week numbers, the moon phases, and also little mini calendars. They have March and May here in the April. There's also the upcoming dates that they have for May, and then also the 31 from March. They have included those as well. The Take a Note spread is much more simple. There's no holidays, there's no moon phases, but there are page numbers on both as well. In the Take a Note, all of the monthlies are at the beginning, right after those yearly pages. So all the monthlies live together, and then you flip and you get to the weekly pages. However, in the Wonderland 222, after the monthlies, you flip to the weeklies for that month. And then after the weeklies for that month, you have a review page and then an overview page for the next month before you get into the month of August here for this case. So in the Wonderland 222, the pages are shuffled for the monthly and weeklies. And for the Take a Note, all of the monthlies are at the beginning and then all of the weeklies follow. At the beginning, I mentioned you have a decision to make whether you have the all-in-one book or the core. You also have an option with how you want your weekly spread. There is an unstacked weekend option and also a stacked weekend option. In this stacked version, Saturday sits on top of Sunday, and all of the columns are wider, and there is not a sidebar along the left side. The stacked version, Saturday and Sunday each have their own column. So the columns are all thinner, and there is a sidebar. So there are 8 columns instead of 6 columns. That is the main difference between these two planners if you are new to Wonderland 222. There are other smaller differences that I have a different video on if you are interested in those. Here, let's compare the Unstacked to the Take a Note. Now, Take a Note is a hybrid of a horizontal and vertical weekly. So here you can see you have a horizontal for your week at a glance, and that I think is mainly because your week is spread over 2 spreads. So 4 pages. Each of these pages is divided into 2 columns, so you have your horizontal instead of a sidebar, although you could ignore these and use it like a sidebar if you wanted. Then you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then you flip to get your rest of the week. And again, the shading here follows the shading in the monthly spread. So if you have meetings or important events coming up on the last half of the week, you can see those at a glance here in your horizontal option without having to flip your page. And in the Wonderland 222, you can see your whole week at a glance with your book open, but the columns are much smaller. So it really depends on what you need in a planner. After all of your weeks here in the Take a Note, you flip and you have 4 of these blank grid pages that have darker grids every 5 to make little squares. There are notches and things for you to be able to separate out your page however you need. And at the end of the Wonderland 222, after your weeklies and after your December review, you have the daily pages. These daily pages feature a 24-hour time grid, military time, page numbers. They are divided down the middle here, and then this top half is divided so that you have 2 quarters and then the bottom half. Of course, if you wanted it to be 4 quarters, you could extend that on. There's a spot for the date. They are not dated, so if you're a person that doesn't need a dated daily page to use 1 page a day, maybe you only need these for your work days, and so having a page for Saturday and Sunday goes unused, it might be helpful for you to have an undated daily page like the Wonderland 222. So at the beginning I mentioned there is a difference between an all-in-one and a core. Here I have the all-in-one, and there are 376 of these undated daily pages in the back so that you can have your planner all together, all in one for the entire year. Whereas in the core option, you only have 88 of these undated daily pages in the back. The rest of the planner is the same. The yearly pages, the monthly tracker pages, the monthly spreads, the weekly spreads, those are all exactly the same in the core versus the all-in-one. The only difference is the number of these undated daily pages in the back. So if you're somebody who doesn't need 1 page for every single day, the core might be your best bet. They do also have notebooks filled with just these pages if you do want to have 2 books. Before they offered the all-in-one option, that is what they recommended if you needed enough for the entire year. So that is an option for you as well. I would love to know your thoughts on these 2 planners down in the comments. I have loved doing this A5 planner showdown for you. Let me know your favorite A5 planner also in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Until next time.